Welcome back to Dirt 5 SuperSize DLC, and today we're going to complete the last races in this DLC followed by the main event. We're going to begin with DownTown DownForce at Roosevelt Island, New York for a time trial event. Soldierboy will start us off and he's driving the Subaru WRX STI RX Supercar of the RX Rallycross class. Now no commentary as this is a time trial event and it's the second lap that we did to set our time. Let's see how we get on. As we get to the end here, I would say the lap was a bit scrappy towards the end. We do finish with a 1.06, which is about 1 second away from 3 stamps, but we got 2, but maybe about 2 seconds away. 2's enough though, we're good with 2. And not a bad start to the finish of this DLC. Could have been better. It was just a very scrappy lap, to be fair, as you can probably tell by the state of the car. But that is done. We move on to the next one. We have Race Oddity, a Papoose Lake gate crash array for a gate crash event. Soldierboy's back in the car again for this one. He'll be driving the Mini Cooper SXI of the RX Rallycross class. And once again, no commentary for the gate crasher. Look out for a big crash. This event was tricky. We'll talk more once we see how we got on. racing towards the finish line now, and yes, we did crash, but despite the crash, we're actually fast enough for 3 stamps, which is incredible. This took quite a few attempts. The car wasn't the issue, it just seemed that the thin track was an issue. And I think I found that previously on these, where the thin track just becomes so difficult to stay on it. But it is done, so now we can move on to the main events, and it is time for Wolverine to shine. We're going to begin with SuperSize Main Event Landrush at Sao Conrado Reverse, Brazil, for a Landrush event. Wolverine is in the car for this one. He's driving one of his favourite cars in the game. It is the Audi AI Trail Quattro of the pre-runner class. Now, we've had a decent start. Can we bring the main events home and finish this DLC in style? Well, it's down to Wolverine to start us off. And this is a track that's new for this DLC. We've done it quite a few times, the normal route and the reverse, so it's not new for us. We just haven't done a massive amount of racing on this track. But this is a car Wolverine likes because it's superior grip in the corners. And he's off to a decent start, being held up by the car ahead of him. We've got a very slow start. And you can actually see a few of the Audi AI Trail Quattros in this race. So he's definitely a go-to car by the looks of things. But already up to 7th place as he rounds first or second corner. Decent start. Over the bump, right-hander here. Can he get anyone under braking? Not quite. Turned in a little bit early, but he's still in a very good position. 6th place as it stands. He's not far off the cars ahead of him. Holding to stay close, that's the important thing. Now onto the mud, and this is where the car really comes into its own, we've found. Especially on a lot of the China tracks. When it's really thick, heavy mud, lots of water, this car is incredible in the corners. As you can see there, he undertook quite a few cars for 2nd place there, all because he had superior grip on the inside in the wet and the mud. And this is why he loves this car. So 2nd place as it stands, right-hander coming up, taken very nicely. To be fair, his driving in this car is incredible. It always has been. Whenever he's used this car, his driving is brilliant, other than turning in a little bit early like he just did there. But this car has a decent acceleration, which does get you out of trouble quite a bit. Braked a little bit too heavy there, didn't really need to brake as much, but he was a bit unsure of the corner. He's going to cross the line for the end of lap 1, start of lap 2. He's in 2nd place, 3rd is right on his tail, as you can see. And in fact, they're going to take 2nd place away, and 4th gets a chance to move up and attack as well. But he's going to see if he can get this car back. Now, under the bridge, under the inflatable, there's a little jump coming up. What can he do here? Going up the inside, can he brake in time? Too much speed, didn't really brake enough. So he did take the position, but he's going to give it back as well on the exit. Got to follow the car as closely as possible now. A little graze of the barrier, but that's okay. He's got the inside. Braked more than he needed to there. Probably could have took that flat out. Oh, and nearly coming unstuck on the jump. Just didn't have enough speed after the braking before that to actually make it over the jump in one piece. And he's very lucky to survive. That could have been, that could have gone extremely wrong there. But at least he's now forcing his way back through to 2nd place. He's determined to finish well. Right-hander now, taking it very nicely. And now he's still got the car in 1st in his sights. It hasn't got away, but he's really struggling to get that gap to close. But yeah, the cars behind him are keeping up with him as well. That's a difficult thing for him to deal with at this point. Right-hander, again, a little bit deep, but he's going to get away with it, I think. Cars behind him are catching. The mistakes have really put him paid to this podium finish if he's not careful. And we're going to begin the 3rd lap now, 2nd place. Fireworks are going off with brilliant colours in the sky over the beach. Don't think he's catching 1st. Unless first makes a major mistake, I don't think he's catching him. Well, over the ramp, and he has lost 2nd. He's going to take it back. No, he's going to go very deep. He's going to get out of the barrier though. Luckily, he kept it out of the barrier. So better exit speed than he could have had. And he's got to fight hard now if he wants to keep the 2nd place. And currently not doing so. Still got to keep fighting. Cannot let this go. Right-hander now. Can he keep it? He's got the inside. I think he might take it. Yes, he has. Around the inside. Left-hander now. This is going to be a fight to the finish. 1st is not going to happen. It's fighting for 2nd now. Can he manage to hold on though? Right-hander again. Oh, turning a little bit early there. That's a mistake. He needs to hold this though now. He's got a sharp left-hander coming up. He needs to hold the inside and just hog the inside as much as possible. A bit deep though into the corner after touching the barrier. He's still got the position just about. Right-hander now. Onto the beach. He's going to be up the inside for the left. Up the inside. He's going to finish. Yes, he has. He's going to hold on to 2nd place as he crosses the line. A decent finish there for Wolverine, I think. I don't think he had a chance to catch in first place, but I think he did really well to finish where he did. And the Ford Bronco from the last episode in first place. Interesting. But yeah, fantastic drive. He did really well. A couple of mistakes, but he managed to make up for them and get past the cars he needed to. And a second place. Now, you may be wondering why that's the only race he's done in this episode. It was his choice. You'll see when we look at the next race why this was the choice. He didn't want to do the gate crasher. He didn't want to do the time trial. And the next race he didn't want to do either. So this was his one and only choice that he wanted to do. But I think he's repaid that in spades. Fantastic finish there for Wolverine. Now, this is the race he didn't want to do. And the reason for it, it is a SuperSize Main Event ice race at Chola Lake, Nepal for an icebreaker event. And we all know Wolverine doesn't do icebreakers. So Soldierboy's in the car. He's going to see us out of the DLC, and he'll be driving the Bentley Continental GT ice race car, the Rally GT class. Now, the reason for this car choice? Well, Wolverine said use the ice race car, and it's an ice race main event. Let's use the ice race car. We have used this car previously. It is not the best on ice, but it's not too bad if we can get through the pack quick enough. But off we go, starting quite far back as always. Very quickly gaining positions. The acceleration in this car is pretty good. It's the grip on the corners we struggle with under acceleration, but already making our way through the field into fourth. Then we're going to drop out of it slightly there, but back into it. And the front three cars have zoomed far ahead. I don't know how they got such a launch, but they did. But we've managed to get through the pack quite fairly quickly and are catching them at a rapid pace. Currently in fourth, we can see second and third are battling there. We're going to go up the inside along the straight if we can. No, they're going to have superior power than us. Keep tight to the inside. The other car hit the barrier there. That's going to slow him down, and we're going to overtake two cars and go into second place. Nice little overtake as them two came together after the barrier touch. Second place as it stands. Now up the inside of the car in first. Nice little overtake. Can we hold it? We can indeed. Left-hander now. Getting the car to slide round. And then we're going to finish the first lap of 3 in first place. And now it's a case of staying out front. Now generally on ice races we've done quite a few of these. And it's a race that I'm fairly successful at. And my tactic is always get to the front and then just be careful. Because you can drive quite conservatively in the lead and keep the lead quite easily. The hardest part is getting through the group. Once through the group, it's not too bad a race, to be fair. I know Wolverine's not a fan. He has done a few of these, but he's definitely not a fan of the icebreakers. Mainly because of the lack of grip. You've got to really control the car around the corners, feather the throttle when needed, that kind of stuff. But we're doing okay. First place, and we have a gap of less than a second to second place. Not worried about that, because I know we can keep this lead. It is just about taking it easy, not taking any risks, not going too quickly into the corners, just steady. Nice and steady with very few mistakes. Very close to the barrier there, but a lovely corner in the end. We're going to finish the second lap as night seems to be breaking overhead. Second lap, last lap, sorry, into the final lap, still in the lead. I was too busy looking at the weather. We're in the lead, and we're just going to hold this lead now. I didn't actually see the split marker there, but I'm guessing it's still probably around a second. Yeah, just under a second still. We're not losing time, and this is the important thing. So onto the straight after this left-hander. We'll put a foot down and just keep going straight and make sure we make no silly mistakes, because we are one mistake away from losing this lead. That is the downside, but hopefully we're conservative. We should be okay. Round the left-hander, nicely done there. We've got a choice again. We're going to go right. We've stayed right the whole time in this race. I think it is the quicker route, to be honest. Every car seems to be going that way. I'd say it's the quicker. Left-hander now, braking nicely, bringing the car around, and we are going to be heading onto the straight for home on this final lap, on this final main event of the SuperSize DLC, and we're going to finish it in style. First place finish on the main event ice race in the ice race car. I don't think you can get better than that, can you? The ice race car finishes the main event ice race, and a nice way to finish the DLC. Confirmation of our free stamps coming up. There they are. I preempted it a little bit too much there. But that is a fantastic finish. Very, very happy with that. And we're just going to wait for everything else to come in. Some more money, always good. And a few unlocks, stickers, other stats. And that is the SuperSize DLC finished. But we're not done. We still haven't achieved the platinum. We're about 150 miles driven away from the platinum trophy. But we have one more DLC, Wild Spirits. I'll get the words out. That will be our final DLC. So another 7 or 8 episodes possibly, and then we'll be done with Dirt 5. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series or any content on the channel. If you are, don't forget to subscribe. A like on the episodes does help. And ring the bell to not miss an upload. We're going to be back next time as we begin Wild Spirits DLC.